So if we can't
Happiness is
on,
adjusting. So we're still
yes.
recording. So therefore, you're not going to see this live unless you happen to be on Zoom with us right now. But you will see this on Facebook when we post it. So by all means, as we always say, play in the sandbox with us, participate in the call, and we're monitoring this. So even if you see it at a later date, your comments are just as valid as they are live. And we're more than happy to help out and respond to your clients. So or your questions, I'm sorry. Without further ado, I'm going to jump in and welcome you to our call. And today we're going to talk about kind of how to do an audit on your business like an expert and understanding areas that require improvement, which will also help you identify areas for growth. And let me just get my screens back here. As usual, I always end up getting one over top of the other. This, by the way, just to put this in context for you, this is phase 2 in our 9-step upscale method. So may I suggest that you tune in and hang around for the next 20 or 30 minutes or so, because today we're going to cover 3 fundamental pillars every business needs to succeed. 9 steps to build a thriving coaching business, and how to identify strengths and weaknesses, and actionable steps to improve your coaching business. So how come this is important? What's this all about? Well, every successful business was and continues to be built on a solid foundation. We all know that. I mean, that's kind of like a rule or a law. If your business doesn't have a foundation under it, it's just not going to last. It's not going to weather the storms. It's just not going to be there for the duration. Imitate, I'm sorry, and that says immediate. It should say imitate. Yeah. So an expression that Jamie and I like to use is imitate before you innovate. In other words, when you've got a model and you see something that's working, run with that to prove to yourself that you can get something working, so you can get the wheels turning before you start innovating. So, follow a proven path before you start creating your own path. Can you imagine if you were going out in the wilderness and you wanted to go on, say, a day-long hike, and there was a lovely path in front of you, and instead you pulled out your machete and you decided to, carve your own? Why would you do that? That would be insane. And yet we see this over and over again. People say, no, I'm not going to do what anybody else is doing. I'm going to try and DIY it and figure it all out on my own. Kind of insane, isn't it? So follow a proven path. Allow yourself to get some traction. Focusing on your strengths will trump overcoming weaknesses every single time. This is why it's so important to know what your strengths are and where you are. Of course, as always, stick around. We've got some gifts for you at the very end, a little bit of a bribe to stick around. And we're going to give you a couple of juicy ones today. So I think you're really going to enjoy that. And a little side note here. We have guests on the call, and we also have clients on the call. To our clients, you're going to appreciate this, because this is going to really be a touch point on a lot of things that we've been working on together. So review, I'm a big fan of repetition and how important that is. So let me ask you this. Would you like an expert to audit your business, to tell you what you're doing right, what's not working, and how to fix it? Type yes in the chat if that's you. If you're thinking that would be really, really cool. Because what I'm going to do in a few moments is not only show you how that's possible, but show you how you can do it so that you can, in a sense, become your own expert. And we're going to give you some tools to do that. Before we dive into that, let me tell you why most coaches fail to achieve consistent full-time income by attracting and enrolling clients. The first thing that typically happens is they're unclear. They often think because they have coaching skills that building a business will be easy and natural. But you know what? Not having clarity on business components like your unique offer, your minimum viable audience, and exactly what it takes will result in frustration and a very long false start. So condensing these things and getting these business foundational elements in place first is critical. The second reason that they fail to achieve consistent income and get their business off the ground is that they're inconsistent. And what I mean by that is inconsistently not visible. They're inconsistent in the way they post, the way they engage and act. In other words, sometimes they look like they're out of business, and sometimes they're full on business looking desperate. So what about this consistency component? When you Google yourself, we talked about this last week. Do you like what you see? Is your online visibility consistently reinforcing you as the go-to expert in your field? Consistency. Most people are inconsistent. And lastly, lacking clients, that feast and famine. And sometimes it often becomes more famine than feast. You see, without systems and processes in place for attracting, engaging, and enrolling clients, most coaches will just struggle. They'll waste time, energy, and money on flavor of the month type marketing schemes and scams that never really deliver that predictability and stability that every successful business truly demands. So let's talk about these three pillars for a minute. I just kind of hinted at what they were. The first one is clarity. Let's get started with your audit. I want you to pull out your pencil and start thinking about these things. I'm going to ask you some questions. And we're going to just like a funnel, we're going to go from broad to deeper as we go through this. So let's start with our three pillars. The first one is clarity. Do you have a clear vision of what you really, 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 really want? That's a lot of reallys in there, but it's important. It's so critical that you are crystal clear on exactly what you want. And it can't be just one thing. Oh, give me a bunch of money and the rest of my life will work. It doesn't work that way. We all know that it doesn't work that way. You have to have clarity on what you really, really want. And then what do you want from your business? How is that going to help you get what you want? Do you have clarity on your offer, or do you have a compelling offer that's going to compel people to want to talk to you? Have you established your audience, who you're speaking to, the who that you want to serve, and who you're best tailored to serve? Really, really important. The second pillar is, we just talked about it, consistency. Have you created purpose-oriented assets? Do you have an inventory of those? Do you have consistent and results-oriented content marketing that's out there that people can peruse and get to know you by? Do you have brand awareness and authority in your space? Are you building yourself as that expert, that go-to person? The only way to do that is by being consistently visible. So give yourself a mark if you're not quite there, and that's something that you need to work on. Think about that as you audit your own business. Number 3 is clients. And most people would think, oh, these are all reversed. Just give me some clients and I'll figure everything else out. It doesn't work that way. In fact, it's the third step. Once we have clarity and we're consistent, then the last part is when we start to actually engage with people. So this brings up the idea of, are we using pull marketing or push marketing? If we have a proper foundation and the other pillars are in place, we're pulling people to us. We're attracting people to us instead of using old school marketing and advertising techniques that are really all about pushing ourselves on people. And we know that that doesn't work, particularly in today's wild, wild social media environment. We can't push anymore. Do you utilize and do you have, a pre-qualified lead generation system? So you know that you're talking to the right people. You're not wasting their time and you're not wasting your time. Do you have a really effective follow-up process? Do you have a CRM or even a manual CRM that's able to track your follow-ups and to keep things together? Do you have a plan in place for audience growth so that you're continuing to be out there and attract people? Now, let me ask you this. If you had all of these 3 pillars in place, would you agree that you'd already be well on your way to having a sustainable and consistently profitable coaching business? I believe you would. And what we're doing here is taking you through the upscale method. This is a proven process. Start here. Imitate what we're talking about here. Imitate what we suggest that you do. Now I want to dive a little deeper. And again, I'm just going to go through these in bullet point form right now. And don't worry, when we get to that gift portion, we're going to give you the tools that you need to go ahead and give yourself a real professional audit based on our years of experience in the field and all of the things that we've done to help people succeed as coaches and consultants. So, are you following a proven roadmap like this, or are you just winging it? You'll notice at the side here, we have clarity, consistency, and clients. Those are those foundational elements that you want to lay down that foundation for your business. And then we've got 9 steps, a map, if you will, a path to take you on. Number 1 is, have you laid this solid foundation for your business? Do you understand those things, like what your audience is, what your offer is, who you're appealing to, what your strengths are, what you really want from your business? Have you designed it the way that you really want it? Have you clearly defined your goals, and specifically SMART goals? You all know the acronym for SMART: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and targeted. In other words, something you can measure. Number 3 in this step is, do you have a signature solution? Do you have a clearly thought out step-by-step method for getting your clients the transformation that they're coming to you for? Or are you just, again, kind of winging it? Are you just saying, hey, sign up with me for a bunch of hours and we'll figure things out as we go? Who wants to buy into that? Who wants to invest in that? No, you need to have a solution that's clearly thought out, that you can take people on a path, that you can walk them along, that you can hold their hand so they can get the transformation that they desire. Number 4, now we start to get consistent. We start to look at our business assets. Have you done a complete audit of your assets? Do they all reflect your offer, the transformational promise that you're giving the marketplace in a consistent way? Or are you all over the map? Are you appealing to one audience, or are you trying to please everybody? These are questions we need to look at, because this is what being consistent and showing up in a consistent way looks like. Have you organized these assets? Do you have a catalog of them so that you know exactly when and where to utilize each of them within context of your overall marketing strategy? These are all questions, again, you're going to come to answer these, but I'm trying to get the wheels turning and getting you thinking about these things. Because when you come to do your audit in a few minutes here, the audit that I'm going to give you, now you'll have context for all of this. Step 5, do you have a process in place to leverage your assets by ensuring you're being consistently visible online in the right way with the right message? Is your message getting out there to the ideal client, to attract those ideal prospects who become ideal clients? Step number 6, are you keeping score? Do you know what's working and what's not? Do you know what you need to throw out and bring in new? Or do you know what you need to just adjust? Do you know whether you're able to move the needle on each of these components within your business? These are all important things, but if you're not measuring them, that which is not measured cannot be managed. So you have to have a scorekeeping system in place. Step 7, are you consistently measuring your results, reviewing them, and then refining your online presence so that your score continuously improves? Really, really important in terms of utilizing that scorekeeping system to optimize the way you appear online. Step 8, do you have a system in place for attracting and engaging your ideal prospects, which in turn lead to your final step, number 9, simply taking those people and leading them through a process to enroll and work with you? So this is a roadmap. This is a path that you can follow if you look through these steps instead of creating your own. So let me ask you this. I've gone through these things very quickly, and I know you're going to go and do some homework on your own because I'm going to assign it to you in just a minute. But what are your takeaways from this topic? What do you get from this review, from going through and seeing a process? Go ahead and type any comments that you have in the chat.
Yeah, and if you're watching this later as a recording, feel free to put those below as well.
Yeah, definitely play in the sandbox with us. You know, when you actually put things down on paper with a pen and pencil, or when you type them into a comment section, as you might beside this video or below this video, you're actually engaging your brain in a process that's going to help you retain and learn from what you've done. If you just sit back as a spectator, it all goes out, it all gets lost. So participate in the process, be a participant by engaging with the information and leaving comments. Jamie, quick recap, any comments from you or Kathy about, obviously we all know this stuff, but it's really, really important to review.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really cool. I mean, I love the signature solution. I was going to say, wait, the visual that you gave, the roadmap, that's our signature solution.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's really cool. And I love when we get to help our clients kind of build that into what they're doing. Like you said, if you're just trading time for hours, dollars for hours kind of thing, not as desirable for your prospects to want to jump into that. I'll work with you until you're tired of paying me kind of thing.
Yeah. And if you think about it, if you pause for a minute, you think, my God, if I can actually convince anybody just to pay me for a bundle of hours, that's a miracle that I've been
Yeah.
able to get any business, because what's the return on that? How can I look at that and say, wow, this is going to be worth my while, and that this person really knows what they're doing? And you and I both know this, Jamie, when we show people the roadmap and we start to help them create their own, the light bulbs go off and they go, wow, I feel so much better now that I know that there's a direction and a path that we're on, that I know that there's a beginning and an end, that I know that you guys have walked this path before and you have experience with it. It's really a powerful concept. And I agree, Jamie, it's probably one of the most powerful things that we have in place. I know, I recall last week, or Johnny brought it up again, one of our clients, and he brought it up a few weeks ago, that it was one of the most cathartic and powerful experiences that he's ever had, is creating his own roadmap. And it truly is a huge asset. Yeah. So let's continue on. And by the way, kind of a new piece here that I'm surprised I forgot about it, but give us your feedback also, not only in the comments section, but we've got a little link here for you that we'd really love for you to give us feedback on these trainings we do. We invest time and energy into these things, and we really want to give you stuff that has value. That's what's important to us. We don't want you to just come and hang out for something to do and then not hang out or leave us halfway through. So by going and filling out our brief little survey here, you can let us know what you need, what your needs and wants are, so that we can tailor our content and produce things that are going to have high value for you. And here's the reality. The snippets that we do, these half-hour trainings, are free. So you can get what you want. Just tell us what it is. We just need to know what it is. We need to know how we're doing. So please give us your feedback. We'd really appreciate that. And once again, just to put this in context for you, you'll see that, there are no secrets here. There's no mirrors, smoke and mirrors. There's no hidden, agenda. There's no magic pill that we're talking about. This is what we teach. This is what we work on, is our roadmap. And this fits into the consistency part of building our business, the whole concept of a roadmap. What I'd like to do now is talk a little bit about two gifts that we'd like to give you. One is we'd like to share our roadmap with you. You can copy it, you can model after it, you can do what you want with it, but at least you'll have something, a hard copy of this. So go ahead and just put roadmap in the comments section, and we'll send you a PDF of this so that you can look at it in greater depth. And hey, if you want to borrow from our ideas and work with those, that's what we're here for, is we want you to imitate us. We want you to model after us. And we want to support you in that process. Of course, we know that if you DIY, you try and do it on your own, that's one way. You're not getting the feedback loop that you need. It's going to take you a lot longer. Actually, you're probably never going to get there. So we also, that's why we're happy to share this information, because we know that collaboratively we can get you there a lot faster.
And I want to say something on that point, if I may, Mark, just to jump in
please.
on, seeing the roadmap. And like Mark said, you could take it and plop some pictures and some numbers and make some steps and all of that. But our clients know, and we know, that there's so much that goes in under the surface that people do not see. So if you create a roadmap, you've really got to have the kind of the juice to back it up. I can't think of a better word, but there's a lot underneath all of this, just kind of this visual that nobody sees, right? So it's
a word comes to mind for me, Jamie, and it's one of your favorite words, and that's authenticity.
Yeah.
It's, if you just copy somebody else, that's not authentic, is it? It's a copy. So the key here, and this is a real takeaway for you, is to create an authentic roadmap, something that's authentic to you, what you have to give to the world, the transformation that you're offering, the people that you're serving. When all of those things are authentic to you, you've created something that has no competition. Nobody can touch it, because it's authentically you. So that word comes to mind, just popped into my head there as you were speaking, is I think that really captures the intent and the idea behind it.
And also, like when people compare you, again, going back to the kind of model, hours model, right? So people can say, well, you charge this and this other person charges that. And so it's apples to apples. I'm looking at time, an hour is an hour, 60 minutes, and this person charges that. But if you have something, that you've created authentically from your own, your life experience and all of that, and you say to somebody, here's what I'm presenting to you as my solution, it's so much more desirable. Then you have apples to oranges. There's no comparison, no competition for what you're doing, because it's uniquely you, and it's unique to help them get the transformation that they want. So
beautifully put. And another great word, uniqueness. It's what calls out and displays your uniqueness. And that's really what we want to do, is we want to rise above the crowd so that people can connect with that uniqueness and say, that's the person I want to be connected to. Hopefully in this process too, those of you who are seeing this, also connect to us and go, wow, I really connect to this uniqueness that Jamie and Mark are offering. That's how we build our business. So again, no secrets, no smoke and mirrors. We want this to resonate with you. And if it doesn't, that's okay too. But we want to attract people who are go, wow, this is really cool. This is the kind of business I want to build. The other part of our giveaway here, our second gift, is a comprehensive business assessment. So this actually is an audit. And it is an audit done by experts because it's done by Jamie and myself. So we created this audit. So you're going to learn from our decades of experience by going through our business assessment and doing an audit yourself. I think, Jamie, it takes about 20 minutes, maybe 50, depending on how fast you go and what you've got in place. Yeah. I would suggest that, if you got the wheels are turning, you got a lot of things in place, you might bang through it in 10 or 15 minutes. If not, you're probably going to find you're thinking about a lot of things, and therefore you're going to learn a lot from doing it. It might take you up to half an hour, which will be really, really valuable time spent. So you're going to be able to take expert advice and opinions by just answering the questions. And what's inherent in looking at those questions is the answer, obviously. Because when we ask you the question, if you don't have that in place, now you've got a checklist of things that are missing from your business. So this audit will allow you to do a self-audit and figure out what needs to be fixed. And then, of course, we're always available for a call. But we're happy to chat with you about your assessment, your audit, and we'll help you muddle through pieces where you get stuck. We'll help you take your business to the next level or fix that piece that's broken for you. So that's what we're here for, and our offer to you as well.
And also, you'll get a score at the end.
Yes, you'll actually get a score, which fits into step number 6 in our roadmap, which is your score keeping process. So you actually get a score that you can then start to work on improving. And you can go back and do that assessment as many times as you want. As a matter of fact, that's one of the benchmarks we do with our clients is when we first start, we have them do it, and then we do it again through it so that we can see the improvement that we're making, and we're moving that needle and improving our score. So I just want to close here with a couple of quick comments. If you're ready to implement a proven step-by-step method for creating a coaching business that earns you a full-time income, an exceptional full-time income, doing what you love without being stressed, overwhelmed, or simply bogged down doing things that aren't getting you the results you really want, then book a time to chat. Go ahead and visit upskillyourbusiness.com/game-plan. It's right there on the screen. It's probably in the chat too. You can go ahead and book a time. Know that what you sees is what you gets. You see Jamie and I in this call, and our wonderful colleague, Kathy here, who is part of our team as well, that we're gonna speak with you just the way we have in this presentation, frankly, directly, no smoke and mirrors, no BS, no high pressure sales tactics. We just want to help you get your business to the next level, and then the next level after that. So go ahead and book a call, and let's talk about what that might look like, and you'll come away with some really juicy ideas to be able to take your business to the next level. And who knows, maybe you'll be our next client. We would certainly love that too. You could also put learn more in the comments section, and we'll reach out to you. Kathy or Jamie or one of us will reach out to you, so you can go ahead and do that too. Any other questions or comments? Of course, please go and give us your feedback. Fill out a brief little survey for us to let us know what you valued about today's chat, and also to let us know what you'd like to see us talk more about. We would love to get your feedback and to know what you're dying to learn, what's top of your mind right now. So again, upskillyourbusiness.com/training_feedback. If you could go ahead and give us your feedback, we'd be grateful for that. Any other comments, questions, ladies?
I don't see anything in the chat right now, but we'll look for them on the post on the recordings. On the recording, we'll
Great.
look for your posts.
Please,
Yeah.
please play with us in the sandbox. Leave your comments. We would love to communicate with you that way directly. Booking a call with us through the comments section, through direct messaging, however works for you. Reach out. We'd love to get to know you and to help you.
Okay, so
Thanks,
with that, we're going
Jamie.
to transition. Yeah, go
We're
ahead,
going to
Mark.
transition now, and so this is our transition where we're going to go. We're going to pull the curtains now, and we're going to thank you, our guests, and people from the public sphere that have watched this. We really appreciate you. Now we're going to switch to our specific implementation call, where we deal with direct issues and questions that are coming up for our clients. And we look forward to seeing our guests on the inside or on the next call.
Yep.
Thanks, Jamie and Kathy.
Thank you, Mark.